Hey again, people! Well, how do we end up here? We have a dead police officer here and a dead retired firefighter here. Wonder what happened. Earning the hate. Police driving like maniacs with no due care or caution for the public. Welcome to another episode of Earning the Hate. I'm still a little confused on this incident. I haven't researched a whole bunch. I watched this video and then the news clip. So they're chasing a car with a woman who flagged some guy over and told him there was a guy with a knife to her. And I think poured gasoline on her. And so they're chasing this car.
I-25.
Driving like maniacs. Driving, trying to kill everybody on the road. Driving like, I don't care if I kill anybody, but in a minute you'll see him crying because one of the blue line died.
Back into Santa Fe. Speeds are at 40.
I'm not a fan of this cross hanging here for multiple reasons. One, if you did that, you'd get pulled over because it obstructs your view. It's not enough they got all this other bullshit up here blocking their view they can't see. Then they drive like freaking maniacs and kill everybody, and that's not a problem. Meanwhile, you'll be getting tickets for obstructing view if you have anything in front of your windshield because it's against the law and they're trying to keep you safe. It's all bullshit ticket writing.
Traveling north. At night. Still at 90.
So the body cam doesn't show too much. They get on scene. I think it shows them running. Here's a short clip of the body cam before the officer kills this guy. So the sergeant is in a police car. This is the guy that died. And the firefighter's in a truck. And you see it real quick here swerving. So here's the car. And I think this is the one that clips right here. I think because the cop, it looks like, loses control. And this truck and the cop hit. And the cop dies and the driver of this truck hit. And I think this is the suspect driving the wrong way in traffic.
Swipe the truck.
Somebody says somebody sideswiped. I don't know who.
Oh, rim swipe.
So you just heard head-on collision here. This is the first time they should have heard that one of their officers was hit, but this guy's too busy messing with his safety. So I think this is the woman of this car running from the car after it comes to a stop. And I think she informs them that the guy that her boyfriend holding her hostage ran into the bushes.
What are you guys 10 for? I got the female coming back to me right now. There's probably one that's standing in the car.
So this civilian truck here, look, if this is me, I'm driving through here as fast as I can. I'm not hanging around while cops are showing up with guns out. Distance is your friend. All these people stopping and waiting and hanging around. Make a U-turn, break the law. Cops, if there's one time that cops aren't going to write tickets, is when they think they get a chance to shoot somebody. All the cops are focused on the real threat right now, and they don't care about how you drive. You can make a U-turn, you can cross the center line, you can go against the flow of traffic, you can drive through this area. You think somebody's going to put their gun down and follow you because you drove in front of them? Now, others will say don't drive in front of them because you'll get shot. I'm not hanging around just when the bullets start flying with cops. I mean, I've just seen too much to where cops are totally out of control. I don't want to be in the area when they got their guns out. This guy wants to go through, but doesn't.
18, are you guys 10-4?
Myself and 253 rolling the
So I think the truck starts to go,
Stop.
and the cop says stop, and he listens. So this cop is worried about a threat. He's putting his gun on fire and safe. He's still covering a car, and he's telling this guy to stop. I'm not saying you should disregard what an officer tells you. I'm just saying, if this was me, I didn't see the officer tell me to stop. For my own safety, I'm getting the fuck out of there and I'm driving straight and getting out of there. Or I'm turning around and driving the other exit against the flow of traffic. I'm not staying here. That's just me. I'm not giving legal advice. You can do what you want. Use your own experience and training. That's just me. So right here, after they've detained everybody and all the cops have shown up and there's more guns and more danger, now it comes over the radio that the officer might be dead.
SO 36 is out with a unit, and it looks like 286's car. She's advising she's out with a 10-7 officer.
10-7 officer, dead.
Where's this at?
About a mile, maybe a mile north of you guys. There at Albuquerque.
Okay, we're gonna get some officers over there.
So now we're driving code 3 like idiots again, endangering people because one of our officers are dead.
Okay.
Look at the carnage of how fast this cop had to have been going. Remember, the cop was going the wrong way into traffic because he was chasing the other car. He couldn't see him from this side, so I have to be on this side and endanger everybody and kill an innocent guy, a retired firefighter. All you blue, black, back to blue firefighters, black to red for the blue, brother firefighter, you killed each other. Perfect. I got no sympathy. I mean, this guy, the firefighter, he didn't do anything wrong. He was out driving, doing his own freaking business. Government, no sympathy. You cops drive like shit and will kill everybody, and now you're going to cry when your guy dies. This car was hauling ass.
I don't know exactly what on today.
Looks like another car crashed. Two cops.
Mile markers above us, please.
All the people injured, insurance, damage, missing work, all the damage. Why? Rick, they were trying to chase him. They were trying to keep you safe. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
This guy is probably hurt the worst right now, and your officer is complaining of chest pain here.
The other officer's complaining of chest pain.
We have a
Hey, just leave it for now.
These guys are helping me just with kind of first aid stuff. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry.
So she's sorry because one of their officers got died. She's not sorry for the firefighter. She's not sorry for all the other people. She's sorry because one of their friends, the Brother Blue, died.
I was coming from Las Vegas, and he was 10-7. Okay.
Oh, man, I'm gonna fucking pass out. Some water, brother?
Normally, I would feel sorry for somebody who lost somebody. I am so tired of cops treating the public like shit. Shooting, spraying and praying, fining them, taxing them, treating them like freaking slaves. That I don't give a shit that he's crying and that his friend died. This firefighter didn't have a choice. He was just doing his business, trying to pay his taxes and work and live his life. This cop was getting paid, his friend, driving the wrong way, endangering, racing, driving above his capabilities and his car capabilities, and he killed somebody. You think this cop is crying about this firefighter or about the other people injured? No. This brother blue, back to blue, cops are the only important thing. Only blue lives matter and everyone else doesn't care. This guy's only crying about his brother blue. That makes me sick. I'm sorry. Let's look at the news on this.
And we are finally getting a better picture of how last week's alleged kidnapping turned chase and wrong way crash in Santa Fe played out. When it was over, 2 people, a police officer and retired firefighter, were dead. And the alleged victim, Janine Jaramillo.
Not one mention in this news on how the cops were recklessly driving against the flow of traffic, speeding above their ability to control their car, and the cops hit a lawful driver going the right way, minding his own business, hit him and killed him. Nowhere will you hear that in this report.
Was named the suspect. Court documents released today outline the story she told that day, which police say was lie after lie.
Oh, it's all, look, I'm not excusing this freaking cranker mether chick that lied and got all this going. You can't justify government killing innocent people in the name to protect you and to chase somebody. 77 cops stood in a hallway while kids were getting killed. Nobody ran in there and risked their life. Not one cop. Even though they were armed, they had numbers, they had bulletproof vests, they had shields, they had rifles. None of them risked their life. But cops have no reason, no problem risking the lives of every citizen and then writing tickets and harassing good people, going to work, trying to make a living in the name of keeping them safe. And other idiots run around, back to blue. Oh, Rick, I like when they write tickets because it keeps me safe. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Police say it all started at the Vizcaya Apartments off Sawmill Road in Santa Fe at 11:06 a.m. March 2nd. A female driver of a Chevy Malibu asked a person in the parking lot for help and to call 911, saying a man in her car was armed with a knife and wouldn't get out.
So my question here is, if somebody called 911, didn't you see another man? Didn't you see that there was nobody else in the car? They're saying there was nobody else in the car.
Within 8 minutes, officers spot that vehicle and a chase.
Look at all the government. Now remember, this isn't the crash scene. This is where they stopped the car. The crash scene's another site. Look at all this government. Wow. Wow. We got her. Crime all over the city. People getting beat up, robbed, snatched, carjackings. Look at all these cops that can be here with a chance to shoot somebody.
Begins. After evading officers through neighborhoods, the driver gets on I-25 the wrong direction. That chase comes to a deadly end.
She gets on the wrong direction. There's nothing that says the officers had to get in the wrong direction and follow and chase her. Especially not chase her in a way that they can't control their car and they run into another innocent person and kill them.
Just miles down the road. We now know that retired firefighter Frank Lovato, driving the truck you see here, avoided a head-on crash with the fleeing vehicle, which swerved around his truck. But he could not avoid the police cruiser following, driven by officers.
He could not avoid the out-of-control police cruiser traveling above its capabilities in a manner that would endanger the safety of the public, totally out of policy of every agency. No, we won't mention that. They're all heroes, and they died protecting us, Rick. We should cherish them. It's all bullshit.
Sir Robert Duran. The head-on impact killed them both. The driver of the Malibu continued where it clipped 2 other vehicles, disabling it. Court documents say the pursuing officer never lost sight of that car and saw only one female, now identified as Janine Jaramillo, get out through the driver's side.
Oh, Rick, she's probably a single mom, had a rough life. Why are you picking on her?
Window. And we now know why police were looking for a Mark Lopez from that bolo that was leaked. Among the first things out of Jaramillo's mouth after the chase.
Oh, look at the tank. A tank, armored car. Maybe we got a drone with a missile on it. Maybe those cops probably have grenades. Yeah.
Was that a man by the name of Mark Lopez was driving and fled on foot. This time she says he was armed with a gun and was wearing a red shirt and black pants. When questioned further, officers say Jaramillo claimed Lopez was her boyfriend. He had struck her in the head and chest, knocking her out, and when she came to, Mark was pouring gasoline on her.
Wow, another woman. The violence of male toxicity.
When asked for a phone number or a physical description of Lopez, the officer says Jaramillo couldn't give one. He also noted there was no smell of gas on her clothes, and she had no injuries consistent with her claim.
In law enforcement, we call those clues. She might be lying. I know it's going to shock all the empowered, strong women out there that women actually lie, because we're all told they're perfect.
That officer also noticed other inconsistencies, including that only the driver's side airbag deployed during the crash, and that the car was filled with personal belongings.
The reason why that's important is a lot of cars are to where the bag, unless you're sitting in it, it doesn't turn on the passenger airbag. So because the passenger airbag did not inflate, it would be a clue that nobody was sitting in the passenger seat. She's saying her boyfriend was driving, which means she would have been in the passenger seat. But since there's no airbag over there, that's a clue.
Including 5-gallon gas cans, leaving no room for anyone else to sit. That prompted officers to file for a search warrant for that vehicle's data.
Okay, so when they go vehicle data, they're going to get all kind of stuff.
And it confirmed their suspicions. 1, it was stolen out of Las Vegas.
They didn't know that before? That kind of shocks me.
2, the weight sensors showed no one sitting in the passenger seat.
So when they get data, it gives you all the weight sensors on who's sitting where and how many people. I don't think it gives the exact weight, but that may be coming.
And 3, DNA from that driver's side airbag matched Janine Jaramillo.
Oh, that's a clue. She was in the passenger seat. How'd her DNA? Rick, when the car spun out, she spit and it flew over on the airbag. Okay.
Janine Jaramillo was arrested on Saturday morning once that DNA came back.
Who thinks that she's on drugs, used drugs, has tattoos? Raise your hand. You might be right if your hand's up.
She was booked into the Santa Fe Detention Center. Guards say they found a baggie of meth on her and a syringe hidden in her genital area.
Hidden in her genital area? Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? A needle and drugs in a genital area? Shocking.
So now she's also been charged with drug possession.
Oh, so she gets charged with drug possession. She gets charged with killing the cop and the guy, and she didn't kill anybody. She's just freaking crazy on drugs and ran. The government chasing her killed everybody. No, Rick, you just hate cops and you whatever, you freaking crazy people supporting back in the blue no matter what the hell they do. All right, well, in that there, earning a hate.